All in all, we're seeing a stronger US dollar because of Jackson Hole. Remember, Yellen said that the case for a rate hike is strengthened despite data dependencies. We had her words clarified by Fisher saying that it is consistent with the September hike. That makes the NFP this week on Friday much more important. Big events for today. Events we had so far that are worth mentioning. Durable goods orders were positive. Housing figures were good. Consumer confidence was good. So data in the US is also supporting a stronger dollar. But we might see a correction. Inflation figures are coming out today. So far, they've been mixed. In the Eurozone, in Japan, they have been weak. Today's big event, well, here in the Eurozone, is the Eurozone inflation release at 9 GMT. Okay, this will shape the ECB decision. Big hint for the non-farm payrolls on Friday comes today from the ADP non-farm payrolls. Also, watch out for Canadian GDP, which concludes the second quarter. Therefore, it is more important than the regular monthly releases. And of course, oil prices. Remember the inverse correlation between oil and the US dollar. Next up, tomorrow, first day of September, manufacturing PMI day, first day of the month. Watch out for the Chinese one for an impact on the whole world. More soft data from the UK. Let's see if the mood has improved. And the ISM manufacturing PMI as a hint for the non-farm payrolls. On Friday, of course, the US non-farm payrolls is the big event, which is worth mentioning. I expect the United States to, we need a blockbuster report for rate hike in September. That means, in my opinion, 250,000 or higher, and wages to rise to 2.8 or higher. If it's only good enough, it's not good enough for rate hike. I mean, if it's good enough for the US economy, for stock markets, for an optimistic mood, it's not good enough for the Fed. The Fed will need something that is superb, exceptional. Okay, let's look a bit at the charts. So, a few key currencies. Euro dollar currently 111.35, 111.30 is weak support, followed by 110.50 and 109.50 resistance, 111.90 and 112.40. We're seeing the strengthening of the US dollar as an ongoing trend. The pound is also a bit weaker, but basically in range. Support, 130.60 and 129.30. Of course, the round number of 130 is worth watching. Resistance at 132.70. Dollar yen made quite a move to the upside, 103.25. Resistance awaits here at 103.40. Further resistance, 105. Support, 101.50. Then 100.80 and the round number of 100. Dollar CAD, we're seeing the dollar strength, weakness in oil prices, weakening the Canadian dollar. Currently 131, 131.40, 132.40 on the top side, 130 on the downside, 129.10 and 128.30 on the downside. Aussie dollar hugging the 75 level, 75.30, 75.80, and the very high end 78.40 to the downside, 74.20 and 73.75. And the Kiwi dollar, we had a question about that today, had a series of false breaks, currently at 72.45, 72.60 to the top side, 71.60 to the downside is the current range. Currently we're in a bit more stable environment also here. Okay, so that's our show for today. Thank you very much for coming. It's the last day of August. It's been a pleasure to have your questions. Remember, the full show, as well as separate clips from the show, will be available on FX Street and, of course, later on Forex Crunch. Thank you very much for coming. Wish everybody a safe and successful trading day and successful trading month, now that everything is back to full business. And see you next week. Of course, join the next shows on FX Street. Join the live coverages. And see you next time. So that's it for today. Thank you and bye-bye.